from a world's birth. The other team drops down to losers finals. They'll play the winner of Furia and Red coming up in about a week. Here we go. Game 5. We hop onto the Rift. Who's going to claim it all? Can Tinones pop up again on the Silence, or will Trigo have a repeat performance on this Seraphine? He was dominant in Game 2 on that pick. Who's it going to be here, Shibby, as we load in? And in Game 5, there's not going to be any funny business, though Weiser and Robo do exchange pleasantries in the top side, at least.
Just looking at the runes here, standard across the board. Sales with the Summoner, Spellbook, Rakan running it back. And we have the Predator, Galio, Ghost, and Flash. No TP available, essentially saying, you know what? My R is my TP. Is nothing else that needs to be done here. So taking the Ghost Flash, just looking at impact lanes early, right? With the Predator going down in the bot lane. I would suspect that this Galio is going to go into Bronche and Sales' lane and cause some havoc. They've been doing that this whole series, Pain Gaming, going into bot, ganking them, putting pressure onto them. Karyoka has the advantageous jungle matchup, right? Into the Sejuani, Wukong S-tier jungler. I would say Sejuani's still pretty good, but not Wukong level, not Poppy, not Trundle level. So really, Pain Gaming slamming in with the 5v5 composition while it's loud. They have a very backline dive-heavy composition, right? Rakan, Silas, Renekton wreaking havoc onto your backline can spell doom for any front-to-back team fight that you look to have.
Don't forget, I mean, the one thing with Croc on the Sejuani is he's got a way to go over the walls, because there's never a time that objective steals are going to be more magnified than Game 5. As we pointed out, he already has a couple of them, including a huge Dragon Steal to give his team soul in Game 4. Might not be S tier, but he definitely played it very close to S tier last time, as we do see some early damage going out between these two. Tinones and Dinkato, I think, are going to be very familiar with each other. I assume early game, it'll probably be that Galio ult that will be stolen, just so Tinones can basically match Dinkato and then teleport back, kind of a la a knockoff version of Shen. But I think these two will be very familiar with each other in team fights.
The great value Shen coming out from Tinones here. Weiser really just looking to trade into Robo. This matchup going in the way so far of Robo. Like I said, classically, this matchup was Renekton favored early, Jax favored later into the game, mid-game, usually after the first mythic or so, is when Jax can really start to pressure the side lane. Not that Renekton's any slouch, it's just that eventually in these long, extended fights, even with Dominus and Fury active, Jax has his ultimate and the counter-strike, plus the multiple thwacks of his W passive. He'll just eventually beat the Renekton out here. But, I mean, what do you think of Loud's game plan, right? Just slamming in these very strong early game, one-item power spike champions, things like the Renekton, things like the Sylas. Do you think it's going to work out for them to get the early lead? They rotate it into Dragons, into early Heralds, and eventually the gold lead becomes so large that Pain Gaming just can't come back.
I like the Silas pick. I think, again, it was something that Tinones popped off on. It really kind of paced the series, the Silas, the pick, the ban, where it was going to go. I like that. I'm going to be honest, Shippy, I am not a Renekton believer. I do not like that champion in pro play. I watched them go for the flanks, they pop Dominus, and then they flop to the floor like Steve Irwin, rest in peace, is out there hunting them. So I'm not really a big fan of it, but we'll have to see. I would have liked to see something a little bit stronger for Robo in the top lane. Again, not the player. I just do not like Renektons in pro play. I feel like they flounder way more than they pop off.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like, you see those pop-off Renekton plays where they flank, they get the double dash in, they burst out your 80 carry, but more often than not, they pop the Dominus and they're just kind of useless, like you said, right? Or they just run away from Renekton because he doesn't really have a reliable gap closer. It's going to be really hard, though, for Loud to get in on that backline. Seraphine is going to be playing from super far away, right? Going to get the encores going out. But there's a lot of just damage coming out. Also, a quad melee composition. So 4 melees, Bronche and Trigo, the ranged threats for their teams. This ward from Loud, though, is going to spot out so much. They're going to be able to figure out where he is based on where he isn't at the moment. As Sales getting the first roam off of that back. Same thing with Nautilus, though. They're both going into the top side here. Really looking to influence this Jax Renekton lane.
Probably just here to support Robo in case the engage comes out. I don't think you're going to look to tower dive a Jax, especially with the Nautilus there. I do like the spellbook on Sales, by the way.
Here.
Oh, Dinkato coming up. They are going to be able to abduct some Scond on top of him, but the Galio just way too tanky. So Tinones, Proc, and Sales all here are not going to be able to do much of anything, and that'll allow Karaoke to keep farming. Now has a level lead. Denkato showing off a little bit here, and we'll simply just dash away. Thumbs up from both of them, and we'll head back to our respective lanes for everybody involved.
Yeah, Dinkato burned the ghost there, so just burn one summoner spell for a gank. Pain Gaming slight gold lead, 100 gold. Not really much to talk about here, but both games so far, 5-6 minutes in, no summoner spells blown. Really, not a lot of fighting happening. A very different cadence than what was game 4. As I say that, the Wise are jumping straight in onto Robo here. Trigo.
Branche doing a ton of damage. And you know, I'll ask you, Shibuya, you talked about it, you know, the cojones on Branche to pull out a character he's never played before in game 5. I mean, the Aphelios was available. Do you like the Varus pick? Do you think it complements the team well, or do you think Branche maybe getting a little bit aggressive here? We'll hold on to that as Denkato and Tinones, they'll start fighting long enough to buy you a couple seconds to think.
We might need more. Just kidding. Karaoke though, ganking in the top lane. I like the Varus pick. I understand why it was picked with this composition, right? Varus, one of the best utility AD carries in the game right now, right? You obviously have Ashe, but she's played more in the support role. So the reason is that it enables your melee carries, in this case, the Sylas, the Renekton, the Sejuani, to just close the distance, right? If you flash R, if you get an R onto any of the members of Pain Gaming, those individuals get locked down for a solid, I believe, 1.5, 2 seconds eventually as it scales up. And so it allows your team to just burst down anybody. It's like a shorter ranged Ashe ult, but the good thing about it is that it can spread to other teammates. So if Pain Gaming want to play this death ball-y composition that they have with for the quadruple melee composition, they're going to have to eat a Varus ult, and multiple individuals are going to get rooted or stuck in place, which allows Robo, which allows Tinones, the dominance from him, just the overall AoE damage slaps from Tinones, just gets so much damage down that I understand it, but it's just really still ballsy to pick Varus game 5. You've never played him before, just because it fits your composition very well.
I think you're right. I didn't even think about the Chain of Corruption into the 4 melee. Then you maybe get the Blighted Quiver. You're going to have 3 stacks. There is some chance for Branche to do some serious burst damage here as well. So maybe they can put Robo on the Kennen. You have a little bit more engage on that Chain of Corruption. That's just my Renekton hate talking, though. We'll have to see. Very slow game 5. I feel like this series, besides game 4, has really slowed down throughout the day. We saw a couple of crazy early ganks at game 1 and game 2 from Karaoke. At this point, I mean, we're 8 minutes in. Rift Herald has spawned. No one's really even come close to dying outside of a couple of, briefly scary moments for Denkato in the mid lane. We'll see. Seo's already here. Damage in tow as well. Branche is going to walk up. Trigo does have the teleport, so here we go. 10-man brawl in the Rift Herald. Branche level 6 as well. Branche's going to be late to the fight, though.
Yeah, he might be able to get like a flank arrow or ult Chain of Corruption off. And I said, it's actually a 2-second route that spreads and applies the route to everybody else if the chain is kept. But
there it is. Ult goes off. The Encore is going to be used. First Blood is picked up. They're going to get another one onto Robo here as well. They get a triple kill for Weiser. Can he find the quad? Can he find the penta? No, unfortunately, the dredge line missed. But Weiser with a statement to start game 5.
Weiser. Quadra kill for the man on Jax. This dude is properly fed. He's bathed and ready to carry right now. Picks up a quadra off of the back of this team fight. And this is going to be a mountain to climb for Robo here. As we see this team fight starting off, you mentioned Branche on the back line here. Karaoke and Weiser just looking to get in. The hook from damage picks up Robo. Chain of Corruptions comes out. The stolen Encore, but crucially, the repeat Encore onto 2 members. You see Tinones nowhere in sight. Branche firing into the backline. Meanwhile, Jax is just slamming and jamming onto your head, giving you the CTE that you deserve. 4 kills for Jax. That is massive. Comes back with the plated, the Caulfield, and a Sheen to boot.
Saw in that replay there. That was inches away from a pentakill, most likely, as that dredge line would have hit Branche. He did have the flash cleanse, but I like to believe a pentakill to start game 5 would have been a banger. But now Weiser is the target of everybody in this game. Croc is up here. Robo is up here, but with how much gold he just got, the two items already on Weiser, I don't know if they win this 2v1 right here, Shibby. They're going to make
Oh,
it a
3v1.
3v1.
Ooh, Weiser wants to turn this. Come on. I know you want to, and he's going to jump to his minions most likely if he needs to. So absorbing a bunch of pressure, but the man's already got 4 kills. If you're dedicating that many resources, by God, Fish, they were going to send 4 to him. Tinon stole the Galio ultimate.
Oh, the taunt does land. Tino's is just dead.
Yep.
Great job by Karaoke. All right, Karaoke. We've learned our lesson. You know how to use Rift Herald at this point. I believe in you. Meanwhile, we go back topside. They are going to try the dive. Counter-Strike under Weiser is going to be used. He's going to jump away. Sales, the first one to go down. The hero's entrance, not quite enough. It does knock up Croc, but they do get the shutdown. Meanwhile, Rift Herald will pick up a couple of plates for Karaoke. Not quite sure if that gold went on to Dinkado before he was able to hero's entrance away, but Pain Gaming's Rift Herald at least gets some value here in Game 5, and they get a dragon to boot.
Yeah, they trade 1 for 1 into the top lane here. Weiser, I believe, for it looked like Sales here. Just look at the gold total, though. Really interesting. After all of that, okay, Karaoke has the most gold, then Weiser, and now Renekton. So even with the quadra kill, just look at the CS difference. 100 to 65. It's not enough to make up for the gap there. It is, though, 2,000 gold, roughly ahead, and after all that, the dragon being started by Pain Gaming ends up getting picked up by Loud off the back of Croc here. Cloud Dragon gonna be the second dragon of the game here. So we will either see an Infernal, an Ocean, or a Mountain. I think we've only seen Mountain and Hextech so far.
We will hopefully get Infernal or Ocean, spice this game up. I will say Robo's gold also helped out by the Shibby that he did get the shutdown onto the 4-0 Jax. That'll definitely inject a nice chunk of gold into your pocket. But just like that, Weiser, despite the CS difference, really battling Robo back and forth for the highest gold in the game. Then Karaoke and Dinkado are right there. And surprisingly, we really haven't seen much action bottom side. I mean, Game 4, it was just constant fighting on the back of that Twitch Yumi. This time, Bronche and Seos being a little bit more reserved. The four assists on Trigo going to help him pick up his mythic items, same time as Bronche. And really, we'll reset here probably for that next dragon in 4 minutes. Maybe that next Rift Herald that'll spawn shortly before. As it looks like so far, it's just some vision clearing, and really everybody is just preventing Weiser from becoming pop-off Jax mode at this point for Loud.
Yeah, they're really trying to keep a lid on this guy right now. But Jax 4-1, Weiser with the pick, not opting for the Gwen that was up into the Renekton, not seen as the best matchup. So going for the Shen, going for the side lane. Already has Divine Sunderer up at the 13-minute mark. You look on the side, 2 mythics, the Varus and the Sejuani have both of their mythics. While you look on the side of Pain Gaming here, Leandries, double Divine Sunderer. I mean, there is a bit of an slight item lead for Pain Gaming here, but they can't really do much with it. No objectives are on the map. And I think just the nature of these lanes, Fish, you look on the bottom side, Varus is not going to be doing too much unless he gets a nice Can of Corruption, but Trigo should never be playing within that range, right? He's always going to be playing super far out, looking to clear waves with the double Q, with the empowered autos or little spirit things that you want to call them. And he's not really going to be doing too much here. 2.5 minutes roughly before this dragon spawns, but it looks like they want to fight over it. Pretty much anything. Wards, scuttles, heck, even space. They look at each other funny. They want to fight right now.
Both these teams really just positioning. Game 5 always has the nerves up. You don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake that costs your team the game. As Robo actually has a level lead on Weiser. Dominus is going to be popped. But as you said, the later you go, the Jax starts to pop off. Weiser gets his 5th kill of the game. And
Robo TP'd back. And Robo TP'd back to that lane and died. But he's gonna back off here. Wait, no, but EC4, right? Yeah, you see them all. That's your turret, buddy. That's all yours.
Flash from Tinones there.
Oh, afraid of the Karaoke gang. Karaoke a little too deep, though.
Karaoke going to be forced to Warrior Trickster away. Going to pop the Cyclone. Here comes the hero's entrance to get a nice knock up onto Croc. Cyclone 2 will knock up Seos. Bronche is incredibly low. They see him over the wall. Karaoke picks up a pair. The Encore going to lock down Croc in Pain Gaming. 10-1 right now in Game 5. It's a 5K gold lead here, Shibby, at 15 minutes.
And we joked about it offline, right? When we were talking about what game 5 is going to be. We're going to hope that it's going to be a close game, but we kind of had the feeling that one team was just going to get completely obliterated. And it looks like right now, Loud is on the receiving end of that. 10-1, 5,000 gold lead at the 15-minute mark for Pain Gaming. They have full control of this game, and Loud just looking for anything. This Renekton Varus quad melee composition just not working out for them.
Second Rift Herald picked up by Pain Gaming. Should make it even easier to probably pick up this mid-tier 1. Pretty even across the board, though, in terms of levels. It's really only Bronche who is a level behind Trigo. Everybody else pretty much dead even. This second dragon. Weiser did end up blowing his teleport to get back to lane later. So neither top laner is actually going to have teleport up for this dragon. Though Croc is shading Robo right now, so this should be a free dragon for Pain. Can they kill the Jax is going to be the question. Robo going to hawk onto him. Counter-Strike has been used. He does see Croc, though. Dominus into the cold of the week. Going to try and get a stun. Can he ward hop to the pink ward? No, he cannot. Perma Seed. And Robo will pick up the kill, and they'll trade what should be Dragon for a tier 1 top tower. Is again, Pain should be able to pick this up no problem. Jungler, top laner, both on screen, up top side.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick this up. They're just going to tank the turret here pretty much. Pick up some gold to shut down onto Renekton here, as well as some turret gold. But like you said, the dragon most likely. What is this? Herald. okay, it's gonna get something
up locally. Yeah, that was.
You know how it is. When I see this guy Karaoke put down the heralds, I literally double take it just in case. I was like, all right. So they pick up the tower in tier 1 in the bottom lane here, but they also pick up the dragon here. So 2 objectives for 1 on the top side. That's as best as you could get for Loud trading a kill and an objective. When you're this far down, this early on, you take what you get, and we get an Ocean Soulfish, the first one of the series. Gotta be really good on either of these squads, specifically Pain Gaming, with all the healing that they get both from Trigo and just kind of the lifesteal that's built in with the double Divine Sunderer.
Did split the early dragons, so both teams still 3 dragons away, and at least the way the early game's going. Doesn't really look like Pain's going to need 3 more dragons to continue holding this 5.5k gold lead at the 17, really almost 18-minute mark here. Most of that gold, though, is on Weiser. Karaoke with 3-0-5 as well on the Wukong has a good chunk of it, but you can see the assists. Everybody's been in on at least 70% of the kills. Well, they're not going to have to worry too much here. Is Karaoke maybe going to even try and steal this blue buff here? Weiser, he'll jump over to the minions, and Pain will start to bully Loud here with this gold lead.
A bully is an understatement. They are taking their lunch money. They are shoving them against the wall right now.
Double Cyclone knocks up Croc. Croc's just going to die here. Great taunt by Ninkado. Yeah, they just asked for his lunch money. He tried to say no, and they stole it anyway.
Yeah, they put him against the wall. They picked him up by his collar and wrung him dry of all the change in his back pocket. Robo, Croc going down here, but Robo soon to be the next victim.
Weiser gets the stun onto Robo. Even with the tower dive, it's not going to matter. Quickness from Seos comes in. Does land a brief charm onto Weiser, but I don't think you want any part of that. Nice damage here from Bronche. Actually might be able to kill Weiser, and he does. Huge kill there for Bronche. Unfortunately, not a shutdown, so he won't get any bonus gold. And Weiser maybe not as fed as that quadra kill at minute 8 has made him believe he was.
Not as fed, but 2 items in. Divine Sunderer, Frozen Heart. He's also going to pick up a Negatron Cloak here, plus the Ruby Crystal, so building into that Force of Nature. Going for the more defensive route, which I don't really mind. You do have a lot of damage with the Wukong and the Galio. You also have a lot of built-in kind of damage with your W passive, so just being able to survive longer, staying in these fights is going to make it much more harder, since the damage on the side of Loud isn't going to catch up to your tankiness, right? And tank items tend to be relatively cheaper than full-blown damage items. So he's essentially saying, I'm going to just do damage. I'm going to out-tank you, and eventually I'm going to just do a war of attrition onto your team, and we'll just win out outright. And we see Bronche, both Seos and Bronche have the cleanse out, but Seos has the Summoner Spellbook. Branche opting in for the on-hit Varus, right? No Halo Blades, instead going for the lethal tempo. So this is a very late game centric build, or late game centric Varus, specifically with this rune choice and the itemization. I just don't think they're gonna get there. Another 20 minutes in this game feels impossible to get through, especially when you're down what, 5,000-6,000 gold.
It really feels like the only way you get there is going to be Croc's going to have to probably steal a Baron attempt from Payne at some point, or Payne's going to have to get a little bit reckless. Speaking of itemization, we talked about, the Silas, the 1 hour power spike of Everfrost. Tidon actually opts for the Crown of the Shattered Queen. Makes some sense since his team is decently far behind. The damage reduction shield will be nice if Karaoke or Weiser jumps onto you, but he's not going to have that root rundown potential onto someone like Trigo, onto a low health member retreating. So it's an interesting choice that I'll understand just given the situation of the game.
And honestly, it's really bad because Everfrost does exceptionally well into melees, right? The moment they come in, you essentially stop their whole assault, right? Galio ease in, Everfrost. Wukong ease in, Everfrost, right? You just constantly Everfrost them out, and eventually it just provides so much value. But the fact that they have to build Shattered Crown on a Silas, yeah, you're a little tanky, and yeah, you kind of hit your AP power spike a little bit earlier, but you just won't have that utility. You won't have as much damage. It is an odd choice, and I think, unfortunately, this is no fault of Tinone's necessarily. They got the Silas. It's just Weiser got a Quadra at the Rift Herald fight. I think jump onto Robo here.
Is able to flash away from the Counter-Strike. They blew the hero's entrance as well. Sayo's going to try and come in and support his top laner. It's not going to matter, as Robo will fall eventually. There is a hero's entrance up on Tinone's, but he wisely will not choose it. And if Payne pulls the trigger on this Baron, which I don't think they will, this is how you get back in this game if you're loud. Croc, believe 2 steals so far. He's got to get another one here, or this game is all but over.
He's gotten 2 Dragon Steals. I don't think he's stolen a Baron just yet. They've been doing
Not
a
yet.
pretty good job of keeping it out. This could be the game, though, that he steals it. Croc on the backside. Dinkado with the flash.
Disengaged. Dinkado hits the double taunt. Here's entrance going to be used by Tinone's as a defensive measure. Croc jumped in on the Baron. I don't know if he still thought they were there, if it was low enough to steal. So Croc is taken out of the fight. Dinkado and Damage are going to run down Tinone's, Bronze, and Seos. Predator has been popped by the Galio, but everyone should be able to get away. But this will just be a transition over to Dragon, and this should be an easy Dragon for Payne as the teleport comes in from Weiser.
And Robo is just in that mid lane pushing it right now. Croc, can he steal it? Can he delay the game a little bit longer? I don't think he wants to give his life over for this Dragon, simply because that means that it'll be a free Baron, or freer than it was before they started it. I really like that play from Payne Gaming. Start the Baron, stop the Baron, turn. They haven't really done that this series. I think only once before they did it, where they were able to bait loud into a fight. But I like it. I like them doing it that early, right? Starting it, pressuring it, saying, we can take this Baron if you just give it to us. 6,000 gold ahead right now, 37 to 43K. They've got the wallets. You might as well spend that cash. Scared money don't make money, Fish.
Hey, we've seen some teams throw the already today, though. I think Payne's going to play as safe as possible. Scared money might not make anything, but safe money over time will accrue a lot of interest, Shibby.
That's why you take investing advice from Fish, folks. Yes. Don't take it from me.
Don't go all in on GameStop like Shibby would tell you. Make sure you diversify, which is exactly what Payne's doing here. Payne is simply playing to not lose the game, which is really the smartest play they can do. Maybe another Baron attempt here, though there is a ward on the backside that both those sweepers did actually miss.
The pink for Nautilus, though, he could throw it into the pit if he really wants to check it. They've swept pretty much primarily all of the river, so they have to suspect the only inkling of vision left is that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Process of elimination, guys. Go to school.
They see Robo bot lane. He does have the teleport, though. There's really not a close ward to teleport to. Oh, Damage barely missed killing that ward. That would have been huge. Robo's going to keep shoving. Now he'll off the channel to teleport. They'll disengage off the Baron. Damage wants to catch the Crocodile in the teleport. He takes a ton of damage to get a nice knockup onto Robo. Dominant's going to be popped. Tino's
Is this
trying to
so
bully down
tanky?
Karaoke. Here comes the hero's entrance. A nice flash away as Seos not quite knocked up. They get one kill onto Karaoke. Tino's able to get away. Can Weiser re-engage? The tanky Jax is here to stay, though. They kill Seos. Robo trying to take him down. Bronche with some fantastic kiting. He's putting on a
He's
clinic
doing
right
it.
now.
He's doing it.
Nobody can get to this Varus. Weiser's going to jump on him. Can he get the counter strike? He has to
Oh,
flash to pick up
Weiser!
the kill. Can he get the penta? It's a triple kill. It's a quad. Can he get the penta? Yes, he can. It's a penta for Weiser in game 5.
Weiser's Jax is unmatched in CBLOL. That's why this guy has 100% win rate on this champion. It is not slowing down. A pentakill for Weiser. Regardless of what Bronche could do, the kiting was immaculate. It's just Weiser was an unstoppable force. As we see the TP coming in from Robo, damage looks to go onto him. You see Bronche free hitting. Quickness coming in, the ultimate coming out from Galio, just looking to stop anything. And Trigo doesn't have the encore, he's just healing. Weiser properly target switching. You see, he jumps to the front line, jumps back to Tinos to kill. Bronche still free hitting. Croc is on the other side of the fence, not able to frontline. And before it is too little, too late, Weiser with the heals, Weiser with the counter strike, the flash W, and it's just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Weiser picks up the penta. Weiser picks up all the kills, and they will pick up the Baron potentially for Pain Gaming here, as we see maybe the eyes are turning back towards that objective.
90 seconds on the Dragon. Guardian Angel picked up straight away by Weiser. That's what 5 kills will do for you. This Jax is an absolute menace. The tank build, as you mentioned, paying off in just... He was eating so much. I mean, and Bronche is playing so well. He's kiting. He's stacking up that passive. He's throwing out the Qs to trigger the 3 stacks. It's just not enough to kill Weiser. They start the Baron. They now stop the Baron. They're just scared of Weiser. There's no one else close, but they sense the Jax is there, and they immediately turn tail to run for their base.
Yeah, and you look at the build, it just enables this composition from Pain Gaming so well. Semifinals, you have the lockdown, you have the healing, you have the Chemtech Putrefier to block any sort of healing that may come out on the side of Loud, especially on the Silas, and potentially the Renekton and the Rakan here. So it's a damage / utility build for Trico. I don't mind this. I like it when Seraphines kind of go half and half. They split it down evenly. They feel more useful outside of their ultimate. You can provide the shields, the heals. You're not over reliant on just hitting your Q. You have so much value in your other spells. So I like this, especially when you have a Jax that is 11-3 and 2 right now. Dinkato also doing a fantastic job on these ultimates. 14 out of 18 kills right here. He's had nearly 85% kill participation, just playing really, really well on the Galio, providing space, taunting the right people, and this Dragon's going to go down almost instantly, even without Weiser being here, putting Pain Gaming on Soul Point. And I said, Loud's only way into this was to late game, to last 20 minutes. Fish, it's been 8, and it's been a hell of an 8 minutes for them.
One more, a Baron kill for Pain potentially ends the game, or maybe another Weiser pop-off if the team can stay alive. Dredge line from damage will miss as the carry roams top lane, and Weiser will start to clear out that wave. And I mean, what, 3, 4, 5 people even stop him at this point on his split push, Chibi?
I mean, they might have to get people from another game. They might have to get their academy team in here, send another 5. But Loud, just, yeah, they might send. I think they can do it with 2. I think it's possible. If not, stop him, stifle him just a little bit. If they send any more, Pain Gaming just takes the rest of the map, right? If you send 3 from 1 man, I mean, that's where you know, like, okay, they're just going to take everything. They're going to take the mid tier 2. They're going to take the bot tier 2. So the max they can send is 2 people, I think.
Weiser kind of hanging out in that dark area right around the blue buff. He's just going to end up stealing it. Robo, bottom side of the map, trying to get a shove onto bot side. He does have his teleport back up if a fight breaks out. And a fight will most likely break out as we walk over to the Baron. We've been here before, and it resulted in a pentakill for Weiser. What happens on round 2? Robo's going to teleport in. Baron being burned to 9,000 health. Will they opt for the disengage? So far, they'll stick on it. Now they're going to go for the disengage. They're going to engage right on top
On the
of
back.
Croc. Dinkado waiting for a hero's entrance. Here it goes. He's going to land that big
Ooh, 4!
knock up. Weiser's already killed Bronte. He's picked up 2. It won't be another penta, but it's not going to matter. It's a clean ace for the side of Pain Gaming. They can take Baron, or they can just try and end the game.
They can look for the end here. 40-second death timers on everybody. 30 seconds on Croc. 30 seconds on Bronte. The team has been ace. They can look to end it right now. Weiser does so much damage to these turrets. 15 seconds on sales. Can they do it? Can they be the hero? They are going to end it. I think Pain Gaming take the dub here off the back of Weiser. A quadra kill, a pentakill, and then another 4 kills. 13-3. You come at the king, Fish. You best aim for the head as Pain Gaming and Weiser take game 5, launching themselves into grand finals.
Pain playoff buff too strong. Absolutely ravaged Loud in game 5. As you said, there's no question who the MVP of that game is. It's Weiser.